Season 2 of the Pat and JT podcast.
Oh man, I'm here at last. The best time, always gonna be the best. Come on!
Exclusively on the Hurrdat Media Network.
On Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, it's Pat and JT. Sometimes it's easier just to text us. 402-403-9478. This is a throwback to an episode about a week ago. This is from Courtney. It says, listening to the pod on how some kid heckled me for being bald. A kid that just screamed across the street that goes, oh my God, that guy has no hair.
Oh,
yeah.
I remember
He's
that.
like
That's
probably
right.
5.
Yeah.
She says, a couple years ago, my son was 4. We were trick-or-treating. He came to a house that wasn't on our street, and so we went to get candy. I stood at the end of the driveway waiting for him, and about halfway between me and the homeowner, my son said, in a little bit louder than normal speaking voice, but not quite shouting, Mom, that house smelled weird, and the lady had a scary voice. I wanted to crawl in a hole and die. Voices carry outside in the evening for the love of God. You know, voices do carry outside, and we have so. In our house, house is very, it's like not secluded, like not on a acreage or anything, but it's a lot of trees. So you have this you assume you have a lot more privacy than you do just because people can't see you.
It's like people driving in a car. When people in their car, they forget people can see in the windows.
So you think that just because they can't see you because of the trees, they can't hear you. But we're on because we'll, full disclosure, if we're up there and I have to burp or whatever, or like in the house and it's loud, you're like, oh my gosh, that was a good one. But so then we're out on the deck the other day and we could hear word for word everything our neighbors were saying, and they weren't even talking loud. They were having a conversation at their picnic table on the deck. So and Beth looks at me and we had the exact same thought at the same time, that if we can hear them having a slight conversation, they have to be able to hear the belches, the loud, whatever that comes from our house. It was just mortifying.
Oh yeah. Have you checked to see if you've been reported on next door yet?
No, I'm scared too. I'm scared too.
That's funny though. That is my neighbors, because I for a long time I lived between 2 older ladies, and they'd been here for like 40 years, and now. One of them passed away, sadly, so the house got sold. So it's a younger couple. I think I talked about them, the new neighbors. And yeah, they're now because when I'm out back, I'm not really that loud, but sometimes I will have the music turned up, I guess, a little bit. Or you get to talking to somebody on the phone and you forget.
Well, your laugh's so quiet, so nobody can really hear it.
They have no idea I'm being out there. Or I'm just talking to Jack sometimes, like crazy talk.
Oh, I can only imagine they think, who is that lady's nuts? Guaranteed they think that.
But yeah, and every once in a while, the one neighbor, some of her family comes over, and they'll be sitting out back, like you said, sitting at the picnic table, just out in the backyard, and I can hear everything. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Voices carry.
Or if I have the window open. Yeah, if I have the window open upstairs, I can hear everything. Yeah. And you never think vice versa. Shit, I better quit talking to Amazon.
I better quit talking to Jack like he's a 4-year-old human.
Yes. What are you doing? Come over here. I want to. Yes.
Okay, another text, of course.
Okay.
Thistle. People screaming in Thistle that are just getting to the episode from a couple days ago. And then this person said, milk thistle is a weed. So we playing off that one and going to no name on this guy, but it says, my grandfather farmed in Elm Creek near Kearney. When I was a little girl, my job was to ride shotgun on his old Chevy truck, and as we drove through the pasture, I was on the lookout. I had to spot them. He would stop. I would get out. He would get out, dig it up with a shovel, and then repeat. She said, he's a nice man, but the one time he gave me a look like I was an ignorant kid who exclaimed, oh my gosh, look at how lovely and pretty they are, because they're so purple. So she said, karma. As a teen, I would have to walk that pasture on foot in the July heat and dig up those stubborn weeds for hours. I no longer find them pretty. I would prefer to just set them on fire.
Yes. And that's something you have to go dig them up, because if you don't, they will take over everything.
Yeah.
You have to. And so, pastures, if you have one, there's other baby ones out there, you got to go out there and dig them up, or the pasture's going to be ruined. That's all there is to it. And I've got 2 that are growing in the corner of my yard, and I haven't dug them up yet.
There are some weeds that are pretty though.
Soon.
Like there are some weeds that you almost feel bad pulling, but it's not good.
But you know, though, anything, and my mom always said this, anything that's growing somewhere it's not supposed to be is a weed.
Yeah.
That's it.
Even a strawberry?
Period. Doesn't matter. If it's growing somewhere it's not supposed to be.
Well, how would a strawberry, would it be from bird poop? Sometimes if birds poop out a seed, because we have in our yard, in the middle of our yard, we don't, there's a strawberry. Two strawberry plants growing in the middle of our yard.
Well, if you want them there, then they're not a weed.
Well, I don't want them there because I don't know. They look exactly like strawberries, but my luck, they're like some breed of strawberry that'll kill you. So I would never eat them.
Probably. Yeah, it just came right out of bird poop, so I'm not sure I'm going to jump on
I'm sure
that.
it did. I'm sure it came out of bird poop. But you put poop on plants for fertilizer, so it's the same thing.
You do. This is true. There's just something about the idea of it, but that's how seeds get spread. I mean, a lot of seeds, a lot of wild plants, and fruit trees and things like that. That's how it happens because of birds eating them or grabbing them and taking them with them somewhere, dropping them.
So it's probably like nature plays the numbers, because I noticed that yesterday when we were going for a walk around the park, there's a cottonwood tree and cottonwood little dealies everywhere, and those are all little seeds. Mm-hmm. So not all of those. Yeah. Like, what happens if all of those stuck? Like Octomom, all those babies stuck, man. She had 11 kids or whatever. So what if all of those cottonweed or those cotton tree seeds stuck? Like, you wouldn't be able to walk in the park.
I will say, though, that on occasion you'll see that happen, where you'll just see 100 little saplings all coming up at the same time in an area, and it's just, the fittest survive. The rest of them get, or they get mowed off. But either way. But sometimes you'll see that it just looks like a carpet of them that are just coming up. And in the yard, I had that underneath the trees this spring. We had that warm weather, and then we had the wet weather, and then it was warm again, and everything was just like poof, everything grew, and there were a ton of little saplings that are trying to grow. So yeah. That can happen.
Yeah, you just never know. They all stick. You're screwed.
Oh my God. Awesome. Saw a picture the other day, and I just had to laugh when I saw it. And I think I mentioned it about the Kardashians and Joe Francis. We were having trouble remembering.
Oh yeah,
his name.
That's right.
And just to put that to rest, because some people had asked about that, and I forgot to even bring it up again. The reason why it came up was because somebody had posted a picture of him with the Kardashians. So he was with Kim, Khloe, and Courtney, and they all looked like they were about 6 faces ago. Easily. They looked like distant cousins of themselves.
Well, they look like, it's like they look like they kind of like, that kind of tastes like lemonade, but it's not lemonade.
Yeah, it's not. It was close. I'm like, wow, that's Kim. Look at her. And she looked completely different. And same with Khloe and, oh my God, have you seen Khloe lately? Pictures of her?
Yeah.
Holy smoke. Yeah. She's had some features sharpened
right.
up, hasn't
she? I know. Do you think if you are that person, and if somebody's listening that is that person that has gone through not physical therapy, what do you call it? Plastic surgery, tweaking of any kind. Like, can you noticeably see surgery. That? Like, can you look at yourself from 10 years ago and go, I don't look like the same person?
I would think so. You think about, isn't it Jennifer Grey? Isn't she the one that had the surgery done, and she doesn't look. She doesn't look at all like herself.
No, Jennifer Grey maybe, but I know not Reese Witherspoon. You had me at hello. What's her name? Renee Zellweger. Renee Zellweger.
Zellweger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jennifer Grey is the other one too. Jennifer Grey. She does not look at all. I just pulled up her picture. Not even close.
I'll have to Google
she
that.
Looked like she used to. But yeah. And you would think that would be, and especially the Kardashians, even Courtney, who I don't think is particularly known for having gone under the knife a lot, but she looks, you can tell there's been some work done, which it doesn't matter here nor there, but it's just odd to me looking at, and we've heard Kim talk about some of her regrets, that she regretted having all the hair lasered off, the baby hair that was around, and that was still there in this picture. And her nose wasn't near as sharp as it is now. It's a little more rounded. And her chin wasn't as sharp as it is now. I mean, everything you can tell. It's like everything's just been really tightened up. And
just gone in for a tune-up.
It was Oh my God, yeah, it was quite the difference in the picture. And same way, Joe Francis looked completely different too. And this had to have been maybe 15 years ago when the picture was taken. But they used to hang out together all the time, and I think they're still friends, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, because I think when
just not that long ago,
I think she hit out on his whatever either island or his resort in Mexico when they were going through something a few years ago. Like they were vacationing at Joe Francis's place, and everybody's like, "What?"
Yeah, yeah. And she mentions, that she loves his place. She loves that place. And it's in Punta Mita is the name of it, in Mexico. He has a 40,000 square foot.
Of course he does.
40,
Thanks to all the girls that went wild. Paid for that bad boy.
Isn't that crazy? And he's still worth a lot of money. But I don't know. He went to jail one time, and I don't know what his standing is now in the United States. But Kim Kardashian, yeah, when she goes down there, she goes down to that area. That's where
I'm not a very smart guy.
But then again, she made him a lot of money.
100%. Yeah. I'm not a very smart guy, but I feel like if you're living full time in Punta Cana or wherever, and not in the United States, probably your standing isn't very good in the United States. If you're not coming back stateside very often, I have a feeling your standing's not very good.
Maybe there's a reason. I think, he's been convicted of tax evasion, bribery, false imprisonment, assault causing bodily injury, dissuading a witness tampering, record-keeping violations. He's pled no contest to child abuse and to prostitution.
And prostitution's
that's
what he's known for, and that's what's last on that list. Yeah, no wonder he's down in Mexico.
That's last on the list. Yeah, no wonder.
Jeez.
Yeah, I wonder. My goodness. Banned from television. Wow, that's hard to do. I mean, nothing's banned from television, is it?
Right? Nothing is banned from television.
But Girls Gone Wild.
Oh, man.
Wow.
TBT.
I mean, talk about something. It's just like you think about it now and you think, how did that even happen? How did that even grow to what it was? It basically were 30-minute infomercials.
Then you'd buy DVD. Not that I know, but I had friends that would buy the DVDs. Like it wasn't even a website that at the time that you could go to. And now I'm sure it probably is now. It's all web based. It's not. Oh. It's done.
I don't even know that it's still around. I really don't think it is because.
Look at OnlyFans.
Gosh, and that wasn't that long ago.
Like OnlyFans is just like Girls Gone Wild. So now if it's gone and it's not allowed to come back, I mean, it should come back now. I mean, the internet's filthy.
I think now, at the time, they had a corner on the market. At the time, they had a corner on the market. They were the only game, really, because it was like a fun, going to all these beaches and parties. Mardi Gras was
they found a hole in the market and they filled it.
They did, and they had that search for the hottest girl in America. I mean, how does that even happen? That was in 2012. Yeah. That wasn't that long ago. But wow, it's just amazing when you see things now and you're like, how
on earth
did that even? Yeah. Wow. I'm just kind of looking through some of his highlights, I guess you want to call them, maybe. But yeah, they what they finally got him on was the tax evasion. Yeah. That was the big thing.
That'll always get you.
They said that he claimed false deductions to the tune of $20 million.
Okay, so that's red flag. I can see if you say, I took $1,000 worth of stuff to Salvation Army last year. That's one thing, but $20 million, that's a lot.
Wow. And then his corporation filed for bankruptcy in 2013. There it was. And they said that basically he did that to block Wynn Resorts from seizing assets for repayment of his gambling debts. And that was in the casino in Las Vegas. And so eventually, Steve Wynn, I did see that somewhere else, Steve Wynn eventually became the owner of his estate in L.A., I think it is. Because somebody said that the reason why it looked so run down was because he moved to Mexico. And that was probably because of the gambling debts.
Yeah.
I bet that's why he left town. And that his house was kind of falling into disrepair, and Steve Wynn ended up with the property.
Of all the debts that you have or that you want in your life, gambling debts are not one of them. The people behind gambling debts, they don't play fair.
No.
They don't play at all. They don't play at all.
Yeah, no. Even the smaller time debts. You even think of, because we know some people. I mean, I'm not going to name names. We know some people that may have been the middle guy on some deals, and they had to deliver some bad news.
Deliver some bad news. That's a good way to put it. Delivering bad news. Oh.
And actually, oh my gosh, I just found the story that goes with the picture that I saw. It just came out 6 days ago, so there's actually a new story.
Send me that link and we'll put it in the description.
I will do that because it says Kardashian pal Joe Francis arrested and accused of grabbing a woman by the neck and spitting in her face to give her COVID.
Oh my gosh, what a dirtbag. If he wasn't a dirtbag already.
We thought he was a dirtbag already, right? And now we know for sure, as if we had any doubt. The picture that they have on here is from 2008. I cannot wait for you to see this. I will send
the link is in the description of our podcast, so just scroll down. You can click on it. It's also on our Facebook page. Wow. It's Pat and JT, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Thanks for listening.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Hurrdat Media Production.